annual threat assessment, compiled by U.S. intelligence agencies, has concluded Israel will likely face resistance from Hamas for years to come, as Hamas will not be going away. Israel probably will face lingering armed resistance from Hamas for years to come, and the military will struggle to neutralize Hamas's underground infrastructure, the assessment reads. The assessment aligns with an Israeli military intelligence that found even if Israel succeeded in dismantling Hamas as an organized military force, the group would still exist as a guerrilla group. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Charles Q. Brown, the highest-ranking U.S. military officer, previously said that Israel's mass killing of civilians in Gaza will be a recruiting boon for Hamas. Despite believing Netanyahu's goal is unrealistic, the U.S. continues to provide unconditional military support for Israel's genocidal war, which has killed at least over 31,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children. The Biden administration is trying to distance itself from Netanyahu by criticizing his government, but the rhetoric hasn't amounted to a policy change. In an interview with local media, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia will deploy its troops and strike systems near Finland and Sweden's borders following their accession to NATO. Putin said regarding the two nations' accession to NATO, "This is an absolutely senseless step from the point of view of ensuring their own national interests. We generally had ideal relations with Finland, simply perfect. We did not have a single claim against each other, especially territorial, not to mention other areas. With Ukraine struggling in its war with Russia and talk of NATO troops being deployed to the country, Putin confirmed Russia was technically ready for nuclear war, and that if the US sent troops to Ukraine, it would be considered a significant escalation of the conflict." The Russian president also said his nuclear forces were on constant alert, claimed that Russia had surpassed the US in developing a new generation of nuclear-capable weapons and said testing could resume. The comments underscore how Russia's military has trained to potentially use tactical nuclear weapons on the battlefield at remarkably low thresholds in the early stages of a conflict, including against major world powers. As the Ukraine war enters its third year, the threat of escalation and nuclear war has never been higher. This week, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill that would give TikTok's parent company 6 months to divest from the firm or face a ban on the app. The renewed urgency to pass a bill to ban TikTok emerged due to Washington's concerns about how its users were interacting with content regarding the Israeli war in Gaza. Many of TikTok's users share pro-Palestinian messages far more frequently than pro-Israeli viewpoints. The TikTok ban bill made no progress over 4 years because of the app's popularity among young Americans. Members of Congress were spurred to act by the platform's overwhelming pro-Palestinian content. Jacob Hellberg, a member of a congressional research and advisory panel, explained it was slow going until October 7th. The attack that day in Israel by Hamas and the ensuing conflict in Gaza became a turning point in the push against TikTok. People who historically hadn't taken a position on TikTok became concerned with how Israel was portrayed in the videos. Proponents of the legislation argue that TikTok's young users are manipulated by the Chinese government through the app. However, the pro-Palestinian viewpoint alarming members of Congress is widely shared among TikTok's core demographic. Around half of TikTok's users and content creators are 18-34. Support for Tel Aviv and President Biden has been dropping among that demographic as Israel's 5-month slaughter in Gaza has killed over 31,000 Palestinians and caused a humanitarian nightmare. About half of voting Americans under 35 believe Israel is conducting a genocide in Gaza.